Hey, happy International Women's Day. It is Coach Adina here with Team Be Real, where we build belief, belonging, and confidence with all athletes. And I have a special international guest to talk to today to go ahead with our series about the women leaders moving forward together. We have invited Nancy from Fitness Addiction Planners to join us. And as what happens when you go real on Instagram, go real, I said the wrong word. As what happens when you go live on Instagram, it always takes a little bit of effort to get this done. So, inviting Nancy to come on live. And she is requesting, and we're going to see which way it works. And we're going to get her on here and have oh my gosh, that was actually really quick.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Awesome. Oh, and I see, hey, Gina, I see a couple people are on and celebrating International Women's Day with us. Happy International Women's Day to all the women. And I love that we were able to do an international call. Like, that's just so perfect. So I am here in the Boston area. And Nancy, tell us who you are, where you are, and how we met. We'll start out like
Okay,
that.
so I am Nancy. I am from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Um, I am a graphic designer, printer who is absolutely crazy about all things swim, bike, and run, and recently became an NCCP licensed triathlon coach,
Tell
which
us,
is the Canadian,
I was
yeah,
going
which
to
is,
say, tell us what NCCP is, because I have a lot of American listeners, and we're used to people being USA Tri coaches. So tell
yeah,
us what
so
NCCP
it's
is.
the Canadian National Coaching and Certification Program. So there's many steps. So I've just kind of like entered the first step, and so I'm licensed and yeah, ready to roll.
Awesome, awesome, and tell everybody how we know each other.
Right. So we met at the Outspoken Summit in Arizona in 2022, I believe.
Was it that
Right?
long ago?
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Yeah,
So I was
that.
just starting my business and I had this idea I wanted to create training planners for women. And so then I was like on Feisty Media and they had the summit and it was what was it again? It was for like fitness leaders in business, right? For women leaders in business.
Yep.
And
Women leaders in endurance sport
yeah,
related business. Women entrepreneurs. I think that's how they say it. Women entrepreneurs in endurance sports. Yeah.
so
Huge
then,
shout out to the Feisties.
yeah,
Thank you, Sarah Gross, for putting that all on together. Yeah, that was an amazing conference, bringing together so many women leaders. Perfect thing to highlight on a day like today. A bunch of women leaders getting together and sharing ideas and learning from each other and with each other to improve endurance sport for women. So yeah, that was an amazing conference.
well,
um,
and then
and a really good lead into this year's theme, right? Because so I've been talking a lot with all my guests about this year's theme, which is moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations. And so I always like to start there and say, so, when you hear that theme, Nancy, like, what does that mean to you?
well, I'm going to go back to what Rachel said the other day. So she was talking about like as like women in sport, we should be passing down our knowledge to other women in sport, right? So and then helping the next generation become stronger and smarter and like training better. And so as a coach, I see myself as that person who is helping the other person to be stronger. So we want the other person to be stronger. They want them to surpass us and then them to kind of like pass down that knowledge to the next generation. So that's kind of, yeah,
I
in a nutshell what
Oh, I love the idea, and I love how you said, and I think this is kind of unique to women, is that you said, we want them to surpass us, right? I think that is a lot of women I've heard say things to that effect. And it's so true. Like, I want my daughter, for example, to be better than I was. better than I am. I mean, I want myself to be better than I am tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that, which is what keeps us all moving forward. But, if I can pass on what I've learned to my daughter, and then she's coming at it from a different perspective and she makes it better and surpasses me and keeps that going. I think that's what it is, right? Inspiring that next generation to take what we've got and keep building on it. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So, if you're passing down what you've learned, who is that inspiring woman for you?
Okay, I've been thinking a lot about this because I don't have one specific woman,
That's
but
fair. That's fair.
right, but I have a type of woman. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, so and I keep surrounding myself with her. Like as I see this pattern I'm creating where I'm finding, and you're one of them.
thank you.
Like I keep surrounding myself with that woman that's confident, she inspires and lifts other people up, she's supportive, respectful of others, she's a team player, she listens to others, but most of all, she isn't afraid to be herself and to be real.
Yay!
Woo!
That is, I love that. I love that answer. I love that answer. Like, because we really can, and again, like, so perfect for the theme of moving forward together. Like, you can pull inspiration, education, mentorship, leadership. Those are the kind of themes that are or the kind of values that are associated with the theme this year. And you can pull that from different kinds of people. And I like that, you're not pigeonholing yourself to, oh, it's just one person. And you can get so inspired by so many different ways. Oh my gosh, I love that. When was there, and maybe there wasn't, was there someone who like came to mind immediately that was that, like, did you have a whole list of people and you're like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's just this
I had a
barrage of
whole
people?
like yeah, literally like a whole list of
Yeah.
people, and a lot of them are in my community here in the Niagara area. A lot of women who are older than me, but yeah, just not one specific, but just a type.
I love that. Oh, I love that. I love it, love it, love it. How do you think? So now we've got this type of woman who's out there and inspiring you. How do you think being a woman uniquely positions you to serve the people who are in your life, to serve your clients as a coach and a graphic designer?
Well, I know what it's like to train as a female. I know what it's like to work with my body, how it's changing over the years. Living as a female with all the messages we receive, right? And going back to you again, you had so many great speakers on so far. But social media, how it can lead us down a path of like not fueling enough, not training enough, or overtraining, or thinking we're not fast enough, thin enough, like all the enoughs, right?
Yeah.
Scrolling and then scrolling socials, wondering like who to follow. So that's kind of like what I'm doing with the planners is I'm filling that gap, like finding the resources out there, like relatable coaches, training females that have valuable resources in nutrition, strength training, mindset, self-coaching, and then communities such as yours who are building each other up, accepting like all different types of athletes to make them feel good and confident. And yeah, I
It's
love what
it,
you're doing.
Yeah, it's such a great service that you're putting out there, because I do think that where women are, I mean, we've made a lot of progress for women in endurance sport over the years
Mm,
and the decades, but there's still so far to go. And finding the right resources for women is really overwhelming. And sometimes
mm,
you don't know where to start and you don't know where to go. And everybody is at a different point in their life, intellectually, educational wise, career wise, and financially. And not everybody can afford to work with a one-on-one coach. Not
mm,
everyone can afford to invest in a training program. Like, their budget may be, well, I'm going to do it myself. Some people have more time than money, right? And so you're acknowledging that that's okay, and you can still move forward and you're still worthy, and here's a way to get there. So and I love that you're approaching it with your own experience as a woman and in your group of all the inspirational women to get there. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, we've got a couple people. Gina said she loved that. I'm not sure what she loved, but I love all of it. So thank you, Gina. And got a couple other people on. So thanks for joining us in the conversation. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to throw them on there. I am going to ask Nancy, if you're given a minute, and yesterday I was asked, well, can I have more than a minute? Yes, because time cutoff. I'm a back of the pack athlete, right? And time cutoffs are flexible. But if you're given a minute, oh wait, hold on. I said the part about wanting daughters to be better than us. Yeah, definitely, absolutely, and all of it too. Oh, thank you, Gina. Yeah, I agree. So, Nancy, if you had 1 minute to kind of impart some kind of wisdom or teaching on us, that short 1 minute pop, what would it be?
Well, I would take this off more, the walk,
Ah,
because I think we judge ourselves too much. We compare ourselves too much to what others are doing. Like comparison, like Pat would say, is a thief of joy. So take this off a little bit more, especially in the off season, especially in the base training season, and start to say to yourself, like, I get to do this, and enjoy being in your own body, seeing what you can do, and just being out there.
yeah, like it's so easy to become a slave to the statistics.
Yeah.
So easy to
Yeah.
become a slave to the statistics, and backing off from that is really powerful. And I've actually heard athletes who have said that, oh, well, I missed a PR, or I missed a this, or I missed a that in a race because my watch died.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I felt so bad for them, because either they did not have good coaching, or they did not follow good coaching, because good coaching always includes taking that watch off, taking that off, and learning how to feel. Like we just did a ride today, every Saturday in the month of, I almost said September, every Saturday in the month of March, women ride free on our Saturday sweat session at 8 a.m.
That's cool.
And even today, like we were talking about, having a power meter. I've never had a power meter, and I like to use my feel as to how I ride. And that was the same thing we were talking about today. We did an interval ride where it really got you to feel the different efforts, so you could feel it without your watch telling you how hard you're working or how fast you're going, because your watch might die. You might crash and it breaks. I hope it doesn't, that doesn't happen to you, but there's a million things that could happen where you lose your technology. And if you're so dependent on it, like I like to say, a slave to your statistics, when you're so dependent on it, it's really a crutch.
Mhm.
And I love that you brought that up, to say, like, take your watch off and just go for a swim, go for a ride, do whatever you're doing without that kind of, without the statistics. Now, I'm going to be honest, because I love numbers and statistics. And even the days that I take my watch off, I still record my statistics,
Hmm.
right? I'll write down 30-minute bike ride,
Yeah.
right? So you can take the watch off and still have your statistics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're not saying abandon them completely, but definitely, like, don't make that be the be all and end all. It's a great
Yeah.
message. I love it.
And that's exactly what I was just going to say too. Like, there's a time and place for it, right? Like, because you need to see the progress, you need to see how you're doing. But then there should be those days where it's, I call them gratitude workouts. Like, just get out there. Yeah, just get out there and be grateful,
A
right?
gratitude workout. I gotta write that down. I'm gonna use that. See, you learn something new every day. Gratitude workout. That is a great concept. Gratitude workout. Awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Nancy, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. And I'm so glad that we got to have an international conversation
Yeah.
on International Women's Day. And keep doing what you're doing to inspire people and get those resources out to them. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, right. So here on Instagram, The I kind of have two names right now: swim, bike, run planners or fitness addiction planners. And then you can find me on Etsy as well, swim, bike, run planners. So
Awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
So go grab a planner from Nancy. And yeah, if you have questions about planners, go follow her. And Nancy is always sharing so many great resources. Definitely a great account to follow here on Instagram. So thank you, Nancy, for all you're doing to educate and inspire future generations of women. Thanks for being part of the Women Leaders Moving Forward series. And happy International Women's Day to everybody. And of course, be well, be real, and keep moving forward. Have a great day, everyone.